Whatever our feeling brain adopts as its highest value, this tippy top of our value hierarchy becomes the lens through which we interpret all other values. Let's call this highest value the God value. Some people's God value is money. These people view all other things, family, love, prestige, politics, through the prism of money. Their family will love them only if they make enough money. They will be respected only if they have money. All conflict, frustration, jealousy, anxiety, everything boils down to money. Other people's God value is love. They view all other values through the prism of love. They're against conflict in all its forms. They're against anything that separates or divides others. Obviously, many people adopt Jesus Christ, or Muhammad, or the Buddha as their God value. They then interpret everything they experience through the prism of that spiritual leader's teachings. Some people's God value is themselves, or rather, their own pleasure and empowerment. This is narcissism, the religion of self-aggrandizement. These people place their faith in their own superiority and deservedness. Other people's God value is another person. This is often called codependence. These people derive all hope from their connection with another individual and sacrifice themselves in their own interests for that individual. They then base all their behavior, decisions, and beliefs on what they think will please that other person, their own little personal God. This typically leads to really fucked up relationships with, you guessed it, narcissists. After all, the narcissist's God value is himself, and the codependent's God value is fixing and saving the narcissist. So it kind of works out in a really sick and fucked up way. But not really. All religions must start with a faith-based God value. Doesn't matter what it is. Worshipping cats, believing in lower taxes, never letting your kids leave the house. Whatever it is a faith-based value that this one thing will produce the best future reality, and therefore gives the most hope. We then organize our lives and all other values around that value. We look for activities that enact that faith, ideas that support it, and most important, communities that share it. It's around now that some of the more scientifically minded readers start raising their hands and pointing out that there are these things called facts, and there is ample evidence to demonstrate that facts exist, and we don't need to have faith to know that some things are real. Fair enough, but here's the thing about evidence. It changes nothing. Evidence belongs to the thinking brain, whereas values are decided by the feeling brain. You cannot verify values. They are, by definition, subjective and arbitrary. Therefore, you can argue about facts until you're blue in the face, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. People interpret the significance of their experiences through their values. If a meteorite hit a town and killed half the people, the uber-traditional religious person would look at the event and say that it happened because the town was full of sinners. The atheist would look at it and say that it was proof that there is no God. Another faith-based belief, by the way. As how could a benevolent, all-powerful being let such an awful thing happen? A hedonist would look at it and decide that it was even more reason to party, since we could all die at any moment. And a capitalist would look at it and start thinking about how to invest in meteorite defense technologies. Evidence serves the interests of the God value, not the other way around. The only loophole to this arrangement is when evidence itself becomes your God value. The religion built around the worship of evidence is more commonly known as science, and it's arguably the best thing we've ever done as a species. But we'll get to science and its ramifications in the next chapter. My point is that all values are faith-based beliefs. Therefore, all hope, and therefore all religions, are also based on faith. Faith that something can be important and valuable and right, despite the fact that there will never be a way to verify it beyond all doubt. For our purposes, I've defined 3 types of religions, each type based on a different kind of God value. Spiritual religions. Spiritual religions draw hope from supernatural beliefs, or belief in things that exist outside the physical or material realm. These religions look for a better future outside this world and this life. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, animism, and Greek mythology are examples of spiritual religions. Ideological religions. Ideological religions draw hope from the natural world. They look for salvation and growth and develop faith-based beliefs regarding this world and this life. Examples include capitalism, communism, environmentalism, liberalism, fascism, and libertarianism. Interpersonal religions. Interpersonal religions draw hope from other people in our lives. Examples of interpersonal religions include romantic love, children, sports heroes, political leaders, and celebrities. Spiritual religions are high risk, high reward. They require, by far, the most skill and charisma to get going. But they also pay off the most in terms of follower loyalty and benefits. I mean, have you seen the Vatican? Holy shit. And if you build one really well, it'll last way after you die. Ideological religions play the religion formation game on normal difficulty. These religions take a lot of work and effort to create, but they're fairly common. But because they're so common, they run into a lot of competition for people's hopes. They are often described as cultural trends, and indeed, few of them survive more than a few years or decades. Only the best last through multiple centuries. Finally, interpersonal religions are playing the religion formation game on easy mode. That's because interpersonal religions are as common as people themselves. Pretty much all of us, at some point in our lives, completely surrender ourselves and our self-worth to another individual. The interpersonal religion is sometimes experienced as an adolescent, naive sort of love. And it's the type of shit that you have to suffer through before you can ever grow out of it. Let's start with spiritual religions, as they have the highest stakes and are arguably the most important religions in human history.